Rain hammered the lonely highway like 1,000 tiny fists as Ethan Ward, a rugged single, father with tired eyes and a heart, still healing from his wife's tragic passing, drove home after picking up his 10-year-old son Mason from school. The road shimmered with reflections of passing headlights, and though Ethan had learned to live with silence, tonight felt different, heavier. As if the clouds carried more than rain, they carried a warning. Mason hummed beside him, tapping the window, until suddenly he stopped, leaned forward and whispered, "Dad, someone's out there!" Ethan's eyes jerked toward the shoulder of the road, and his breath hitched. A small girl, no older than 8, soaked, shaking violently, sitting alone in a rusted wheelchair, her hair plastered to her pale face, her thin clothes clinging to her skin. Without hesitation, Ethan pulled over, thoughts racing. Who would abandon a child like this? He grabbed his jacket, rushed into the downpour, knelt in front of her, and gently asked, "Sweetheart, where's your family?" But the girl's terrified. Eyes only flicked upward for a second before dropping again. She hugged herself tightly, shivering so hard her teeth chattered. Mason stepped beside his father, holding an umbrella over her tiny frame, whispering, "It's okay. You're safe now." Ethan inspected her wheelchair, an old, broken model with one wheel barely turning, and duct tape holding the footrest together. He could see bruises on her wrists, as if she had been grabbed or restrained. His stomach twisted with anger and sorrow. He lifted her carefully, noticing how light she was. Too light, as if she hadn't eaten in days. The girl whimpered softly but didn't resist. "We're taking you home," Ethan said firmly, placing her in the back seat and covering her with Mason's school jacket, which Mason offered without hesitation. As they drove, Ethan kept glancing through the mirror. The girl stared out the window, silent, scared, yet strangely observant, like she was trained not to speak. When they arrived, Ethan rushed her inside, made warm soup, and Mason grabbed towels and blankets. After a while, the girl whispered her name, Lila, and nothing more. Her voice was soft, as if saying even a single word cost her strength. Ethan noticed deep scars near her ankles and a strange burn mark behind her ear, shaped like a perfect circle. Medical abuse? Human trafficking? His heart raced. Over the next few hours, Lila didn't talk much, but she watched Ethan fix her wheelchair with careful hands. He tightened bolts, replaced the bent wheel with a spare from Mason's old bike, and sanded off the rust. She stared at him with widening eyes, tears slipping down her cheeks, not loud sobs, just silent, heartbreaking gratitude. When Mason offered her a cookie, she shook her head as if scared to take it, until Ethan gently said, "In this house, no one gets punished for eating." That sentence broke her. She burst into tears. She clung to Ethan's shirt as if she had never been held safely before. Later that night, after Ethan tucked both kids in, he stepped outside and called social services, but something made him stop mid-dial. Leela had gripped his sleeve earlier and whispered, "Don't let them take me, please. They'll find me." Those 6 words pierced his soul. Someone dangerous was after her. Ethan made a decision, one that would change all their lives. He would protect this girl, no matter the cost. But just as he locked the door and turned off the lights, a pair of headlights stopped outside his home, then slowly turned away. Someone had been watching, someone who didn't want Lila found. And Ethan realized this wasn't an act of kindness anymore. This was a rescue mission he never asked for, but destiny had chosen him for. Ethan didn't sleep that night. He sat on the couch, gripping a flashlight like a weapon, listening for footsteps or engines outside, while Lila slept peacefully for the first time in who knows how long. The morning sun revealed more than daylight. It revealed truth, danger, and a mystery far deeper than he imagined. When Ethan made breakfast, Lila watched him from the doorway, cautious but curious, her hands still trembling. Mason invited her to sit, and slowly, hesitantly, she joined them, eating like someone who'd never been allowed to enjoy a meal. After breakfast, Ethan softly asked again, "Lila, who were you running from?" Her lips quivered, her gaze dropped, and she lifted her trembling hand to point at the mysterious burn mark behind her ear. Ethan leaned closer and noticed a small number etched into the skin, a code. Not a medical scar, not an accident, Something intentional. Something sinister. Suddenly, a heavy knock slammed against the door, making Lila flinch so hard she nearly toppled from her chair. Ethan rushed to her side as Mason held her hand protectively. "Stay behind me," Ethan whispered. He opened the door to find two sharply dressed men in black suits, claiming to be from a private care facility. Their eyes were cold, trained, scanning the house as if searching for prey. "We're here for the girl," one said. "She escaped during transport. She's dangerous." Ethan's jaw clenched. "She's a child," he snapped. "Nobody escapes. From a care facility in a broken wheelchair during a thunderstorm." The men exchanged looks. Ethan had exposed their lie. They stepped closer, lowering their voices, their tone threatening. "Hand her over, now." But before Ethan could respond, Lila wheeled herself forward and whispered, "They're lying. They're not doctors." Her voice trembled, but she spoke. The men lunged inside, grabbing for her, but Ethan slammed the door in their faces, locked it, and quickly ushered the kids through the back door. They raced to Ethan's truck as the men pounded the front door, shouting threats. Ethan sped through back roads, heart pounding, his mind racing for answers. Mason comforted Lila, who clutched a small, torn photo she had kept hidden. Ethan glanced at it and froze. The photo showed a wealthy couple in front of a mansion, holding baby Lila. They were her parents. On the back, written in faded ink, "If anything happens to us, protect Lila. She knows the truth." Ethan's breath caught. Her parents weren't alive. They had died in what news had called an accident a year ago. But what if it wasn't an accident? He realized those men weren't from a facility. They were the same people responsible for her parents' deaths, trying to erase the last witness, the little girl who had seen everything. They wanted the inheritance. They wanted silence. They wanted Lila gone. Ethan pulled over safely and faced her. "Lila, what truth do you know?" Tears streamed down her cheeks as she whispered, "I saw them hurt my mom and dad. I hid, then they took me. Said no one would ever find me." Ethan felt something ignite inside him. Fury, protectiveness, purpose. He turned the truck around and headed straight to the police station, demanding protection. Lila told her story, trembling but brave. And with Ethan and Mason beside her, she finally felt safe. The police recognized the code. Behind her ear, it belonged to a trafficking network under federal investigation. Within hours, agents arrested the men chasing her. Lila, rescued at last, turned to Ethan and whispered, "Why did you help me? No one ever helps me." Ethan knelt before her, eyes gentle and firm. "Because no child deserves pain. Because you mattered the moment I saw you. And because family isn't about blood, it's about love." Mason hugged her tightly, as if welcoming a sister. Months passed, and Lila's world transformed. She began therapy, started school, laughed again, and for the first time in years, lived like a child. Ethan, once a lonely single dad, found his home filled with warmth again. One evening, Lila ran into his arms with tears of joy as the judge approved. Ethan's request, he was now her legal guardian, her dad. The truth had shocked him, changed him, and healed him. Lila had gained a father, Mason gained a sister, and Ethan gained purpose. Their broken pieces fit together like a miracle. And as the sun set behind their small home, Ethan whispered to Lila, "You were never abandoned. You were waiting to be found." And she smiled, the smile of a child finally safe, finally loved and finally home.